Okay, in this video, we are going to learn how to make the pouch. So, we're going to use two angles. So, I'm going to start with the rectangle. Start from center and make sure you remember the pouch measurements. Okay, so I'll click on 0 and just click. And the length that I want here. Okay, so probably the corner length I would want this to be 195, and here I want this to 15. So let's go for this and right click, and now we have to fix this length. So it will be 215 and enter. Okay, now we are going to use this. First, we're going to make this. So I'm doing this in a different way. The way I taught in the class was a bit different because we would have to add stitching lines. So this is the best way I thought that this would be made in. So let's do the fillet curve. And I took the here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the radius. I'll take the radius as 10. Click enter. And one click, second click, right click to repeat the command, one click, second click, right click again to repeat the command, one click, second click, right click to repeat the command, and one click, second click, right click to repeat the command. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to we're going to cap this. So I'll use surface and you use planar curve. So I'll get something like this. Okay, and before I cap this, so I'll do Control Z. I do offset. So here I'm going to use the offset command, and here I'll keep the distance as probably I'll keep it at 3 mm. Click enter and just click on here and then left mouse click, and so this is going to be our stitching line. And what I'm going to do is I do not want the stitching line right now, so I'll take this part and I am going to hide it. So I'll go over here in the standard and hide this. Okay, now I'm going to use the planar curve. Since I've already used the planar curve, I can find it here, surface from planar curve, select and click enter. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add thickness to this. So here we are going to take the offset surface and distance, let's keep the distance to be 3, or maybe we can keep a 4. Click enter. Click enter once again. So we get something like this. Okay, now this is a bit thick. You can keep it a little less thicker as well. Let's say we take it for 2 mm. So let's try this. So right click here and offset surface, and distance I keep at 2 mm, and so I just write the number 2 and click enter. Click enter. So I get something like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to surf here. I'm going to use the blend surface and I'll click on chain edge and I'll click here so that the entire all of this, even if it is broken, it is still selected, and I'll select this as well. Maybe I'll select this. So I have to select the other areas. I'll select this, select this, and select this, and then click enter. So we get something like this. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to lock this and maybe push this a bit inside. So let's keep it at 0.379. I think that's about it. That's good enough. And now we are going to add the stitching line. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to this and here I'm going to go for, I need click on right to show the line that I had hidden. Okay, and maybe what I'm going to do is I'll select this line and I'll push it a little up. So we have this line here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to project it on the surface. So I'm going to select the line first, and I will go to curve from object, and here I'm going to go to pull back and click on the surface. So what actually has happened, I see it's already there. There's one here also. So actually two copies have been made. So here you have an option, like suppose, let me just do Control Z. So I'll select this, push it up, and here what I'm going to do is select this, and I'll repeat the command, pull back, and delete input, say yes, and then I project it on the surface, right click. Okay, did not happen. So let's do this again, pull back, select the surface, and click enter. So you get, you do not get two copies, so only in one copy you get the stitching line. Now I am going to use a spherical center and a round curve, and just click on the curve like this, and click like this, and click alt, and just make a small, something like this. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to elongate this. So earlier there was ellipsoid, but if ellipsoid doesn't work, what you can do is you can elongate this. So just make it like a stitching line. Just make it a little smaller like this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, go to array curve, and select the base point. And here I'm going to add, let's say I add 800 and see what the gapping is. So I click OK, and it gives me this kind of gapping. I'll do Control Z, and we'll do array curve again, select the base point, and here I'm going to add in 600 and see how the gapping is. Again, it's way too much, but let's see if we can make it a little smaller by adjusting. Now record history is on, so that is why if I'm making changes to this object, the other objects are also uh, the duplicates are getting changed on its own. And you would have to make sure that this thing is switched on. So just I'll probably go over here, just make this a little smaller, and probably make the stitching line a little smaller here. Yeah, so this is going to be our stitching line, and you can see this in the rendered view. So this is how your stitching line is going to be. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I go back to the shaded view, and I put an angle here, and we are going to do flow along curve. So let's see how that works for us. So since I've already done my calculation for the pouch, so I am going to make a straight line here. I'll start from here and I'll go up, and this I'll type in 100, click enter. Okay, so I do not want a rectangle, I just want a polyline. So here, let's say I start from here and just type in 100, click shift, and this is 1, click enter. And I'm going to take this, control C, control V, select it, select the curve, and just shift it here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to make the blend of these curves. So we use this adjustable curve blend. So I'm going to select this one and select this and select this. And what I'm going to do is click shift and click one of these nodes. And the moment you click one of these nodes, automatically, everything universally, all the nodes get selected in this area. And once you feel that this is fine, you just click, that's it. Okay, make sure your join command is on and click OK. Otherwise, you would have to select each line and then join it. Okay, now I've not actually tried this out, but I'll just try it out. And also, I'll do another thing here. I'll probably try it at this level only instead of doing it over here. I'll add some kind of, you know, you make a pouch and there is a bulge in the pouch. So let's see if I'm able to do in this. So I'll just select this surface and I rebuild the surface. Only this surface I'm rebuilding. So I'll just select this and I click 11 and click OK. So down below I have not done, so I'll probably take this and I would want to hide it. So I'll hide this one right now, for right now. Okay, and I'm going to take this, select the control object control point, select so that all these points are selected, and I'll just go over here to these lines. Okay, and I'll add a little bulge. Just maybe move this a little bit, like just a little bit. That's it. Not so much, but just to have, maybe I'll select it a little bit more. This is already, yeah, that's it. And I'll just select show object, so the down below will also come. So show object and see this. So it's going to be like this. Now I'll take all of this, and since I don't want anything to move, so I'll do Control G. Okay, so I'm going to ungroup this because this is also got selected, so which I don't want. So um, ungroup. This is separate. Push it here, and I'll select only this area. Okay, and I'll group it. So I can check the measurement here. If the measurement is coming out, because I know this is 215, I can check the measurement. So for checking the measurement, I'll go over here and go for measure length. So this is 231. So that is why this is coming like this. And I stretched it as well. So what we can do here is, let's say I click on this, I click F, I click on the object control point, I select these two lines and I push them down like this. And I select this again and see how my measuring length is. So just click on, this is 208, which also is fine. So I'll just push this a little up. That's it. And maybe we measure this again. So I'll just select this part, go to transform, go to flow along curve, and I'll go to stretch yes, and I'll go to line, and I'll just click on this line and probably go on this line and go over here. Okay, now this has come perfectly fine, and I can see this work by either going in the rendered mode, or I can just probably select this and see this without the. Okay, so this is how it will look, and I can see this in the rendered view. I'll go into the shaded part. Maybe the bump that I made is way too high, so I'll ungroup this and just go to object control point, select the top and click enter, and here I'll double click to go back to my view and just select this area that I selected earlier, and maybe I'll push this a little down. I do not want so much to come. Yeah, just this much. Okay, and then I go back to anything I would like to group it. So I'll do Control G, and here it is Command Group, and so this is already grouped. Now I will select this area and go to Transform, Flow Along Curve, and go to Line, and I'm gonna just do what I did earlier and just select this part. So here we are. And in order to see without these lines, you can just go to isocurve density in the properties panel and just tick off this and just see if all of this is coming out right. Okay, so in the next video, we are going to learn how to make the inside part with the zipper and the zip puller.